Hey guys, it's your girl Chandra, aka Nurse Channie, and I'm back with another video. So I apologize for the lighting for this video. I'm really trying to figure out where is the best place for me to film while I'm in this hotel room. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I'm working on it, okay? I think I'm going home this weekend, so I may bring my ring light back with me, which will solve all of those lighting and all of that stuff. Right now I'm filming on a very short tripod, hence my position here. But I'm gonna get through this video anyway. So I have received an overwhelming amount of questions in my DM on Instagram. And if you're not following me on Instagram, I'm going to drop my Instagram name right here. It's also in the description box. You can follow me at I am Nurse Channie on Instagram, where I share nursing, lifestyle, and inspiration, okay? So today I wanted to talk about or answer a question that I've received a lot this week, and that was, why did you decide to become a travel nurse? Okay, so if you want to know why I decided to become a travel nurse, stay tuned. Alrighty, so if you don't know, I am a maternal child nurse. I have been a nurse for 11 years. I graduated with my bachelor's degree back in 2008. And then I went back for my master's degree. I finished my master's program in 2013. So I have a BSN and an MSN. The MSN is in nursing with a concentration in nursing education. Right now I am on sabbatical from teaching. Sometimes you got to take a break from doing certain things in nursing. And if you are a nurse, you understand exactly what I mean. And that is kind of the beauty of this career of nursing. It's very flexible. Hence, right now I am pursuing travel nursing. So, travel nursing is something that I've always wanted to do. I love to travel. I love to meet new people. I love to experience new things. So why not? Why not infuse the love of my career with my love of traveling? It's like a no-brainer. So again, I've wanted to do this for a long time. However, my children were much younger, and so I had to dedicate my time to being the best mom that I could be while I was working and raising my kids. So traveling just wasn't something that I could pursue when my kids were younger. However, my youngest just graduated from high school this year, and early in the year, well, actually late last year, really, I was sitting at my desk and I was just frustrated about some things that were going on at work, and I was just feeling like I'm just not fulfilled by this anymore. And one of my girlfriends had been traveling for about a year, and she was like, you can do it. And I'm thinking of all the reasons why I can't do it. I'm a mom, I'm a single parent. I don't know how I could really financially do it. I don't know how I could leave my family and friends and go do this. I was thinking of all the reasons why this would not work for me. And then one day I just said, I'm going to apply. So that's what I did, okay? So, what is a travel nurse? So, obviously, we do travel. So, a travel nurse is a nurse that takes contracts for different time frames to work at a hospital to help that hospital or facility or wherever you're filling in at fulfill a need that they have. It could be that the hospital is going through a conversion with their medical record system and they need extra nurses. It could just be that that unit or that hospital is lacking nurses, so they need to bring people in to fill in because hospitals operate 24/7. Patient acuity increases and decreases. Patients are more sick these days, so you need more bodies, okay? So for whatever reason, that facility has a need for extra nurses, and they contract with travel agencies to bring in experienced staff to fill in those needs until they get up and running with whatever deficit they have on their unit. So when I started out this venture, I started with a local contract because I just wanted to get my feet wet. I just wanted to see, will I like working at this hospital that I don't really work for? So I have worked on staff at, I think just, no, 3 hospitals in my whole career. One hospital where I currently still am, I work per diem. And I work something like either, I don't know, I work something like between 12 and 48 hours a month at this hospital. My commitment is just for me to work 2 shifts every 6 weeks. So I like to keep that per diem position just in case I need it, because back in 2015, I got laid off and that per diem position floated me throughout the whole summer. So I keep that position per diem. I really like the hospital I work at, but because I just, you know how you want to have an ace in the hole? That's my ace in the hole, and I like to keep it per diem. I have considered going there to work full time, but right now it's just not my focus. So why would someone want to be a travel nurse? Well, again, what's more exciting than being able to travel, go to different locations, experience new cultures, new areas, as well as get paid for it? Why not, right? So how do you go about being a travel nurse? So you're going to locate a travel agency. For me, when I first started out, I did my local contract with an agency that I used to do per diem work with. Per diem, PRN, that means you work as needed with that company or with that facility. So I used to work at this company picking up shifts, just 12 hours here and there. So when I wanted to do this local contract, I used that agency, and they got me a contract at a hospital in Baltimore City, which was perfect for me to get like a bird's eye view or a snapshot of what it again would be like to work at a hospital but not really work for the hospital. So what's the difference between a local and a travel? A local contract, you're just paid a rate for that contract. So you get paid, let's just throw out the number, I don't know, $25 an hour. $25 an hour times your 36 hours, that's what you're paid. Travel nursing, you have to be 50 miles from your home location in order to be considered a traveler. So wherever 50 miles is from your home, if you were to find a hospital that you want to work at and they have a need, you would be considered a travel nurse. You get paid a little bit differently. You get paid with a pay package versus, well, they call it a pay package, okay? So you get paid for housing plus meals and incidentals. That's one big number. That number is non-taxed. So let's just say that number is, we'll just throw out $2,000. So you're going to get $2,000 a week for housing, meals, and incidentals. Untaxed if you declare that you're 50 miles away from your home state. In addition to that, you're going to be paid an hourly rate, which may be much smaller than what you're used to. But again, you're getting that tax-free meals and incidentals. So it all works out to be pretty sweet, to be honest, okay? You can make upwards of, depending on your specialty and depending on where you go to travel, you can make anything from $1,500 a week to $4,000 a week. It all depends on your contract, your specialty, and where you are willing to go, okay? So that's the difference between contract, local contract, travel nurse, okay? What else is on my list here? I'm just trying to keep myself organized. So, what are some of the benefits of being a travel nurse? I mean, we just talked about that awesome pay package. That's one. Two, you get to experience different places. So right now, I'm in Massachusetts. I've never been to Massachusetts before. I didn't know what it was going to be like here. Actually, I'm pleasantly pleased at my experience here over the last 2 weeks. If you haven't seen the last video I posted about my experience in an Airbnb, please go ahead and watch that. But besides that, I've had nothing but great experiences here. The hospital I'm at is a very small community hospital. It actually reminds me of the hospital that I worked at when I was a new grad nurse. So it's really like really small, really intimate. The people who have worked there, most of them have worked there for 20 and 30. I met a lady who's been there for 50 years. Wow, I can't imagine being at a hospital for 50 years. But she said she went to nursing school there, and she just recently got her DNP. So she's on the downswing of her career. But she loves it, obviously, because she's still there. When I talk with the staff on the unit I'm on a labor and delivery unit this time instead of postpartum. They said that they have not ever had travelers. And some of their nurses have been there for 20, 25 years, never had travelers. But what happened is a lot of their staff retired. Their night shift staff retired. A lot of people left, and so they have these holes on night shift, which I'm working nights. I'm not 100% crazy about that, but it is what it is. So that's the reason why they had needs on their unit. So I imagine that they're going to be hiring nurses, but until they do, they have a couple travelers on the unit. I met another traveler last week, and I think there's another traveler on nights. What are some of the other benefits of travel nursing? So maybe you have always wanted to live in a particular place, but you don't want to just go ahead and uproot everything at one time. As a travel nurse, you could take a 4-week, 8-week, 13-week contract in an area just so you could see how it is, and then maybe you would want to go ahead and relocate. There were nurses that I met in orientation who were travel nurses for this facility, and now they took a position as a staff nurse. That happens all the time. So there's lots of benefits to being a travel nurse. For me, the benefit for me right now is that I'm at that point in my career where, again, I just really have always wanted to be a travel nurse. And so that's what I'm doing. So I don't have a particular place that I would like to visit so that I could settle in that place, but you never know. So for me, again, I'm in Massachusetts right now. I applied for my California license. I would love to travel out to California, especially when it's cold here during the winter. I'd love to be on the West Coast. So that's definitely on my list. I'd like to go to Hawaii. One of my friends used to be a travel nurse. She spent, I think, 13 weeks in Hawaii. Who wouldn't want to go to Hawaii, work at a hospital, helping women have babies, and then go back home after that experience? Travel nursing also has a great financial benefit. So I talked earlier about the tax-free money. This gives you an opportunity to really, really save money if you are financially savvy. So it gives you an opportunity to use 13 weeks to make some great money. You could make investments with that. You could save. I want to pay off my student loans. So I'm really, really looking into negotiating my next contract so it is really financially beneficial so that I can start chopping away at these student loans. Like, there are so many financial benefits to being a travel nurse. Like, I can make so much more money as a travel nurse than I would being a staff nurse at a hospital. And this is not something, well, at least I don't think so. This is not something that I plan to do forever, but I could see me doing this for a couple of years if it all works out for me. So again, I'm just 2 weeks into this venture. Right now, so far, so good. I work my first shift at the hospital. No, I'm going to work my second shift at the hospital tonight with my preceptor. So I'm just of the mindset of having a positive outlook on everything and just being really hopeful that I have great experiences here. I'm resume building and I'm going to start negotiating some good contracts as I continue to move on with this process. So how do you become a travel nurse? Like, how do you find an agency? So if you know other nurses who work for a particular agency, you can get a referral from them. I did get a referral from my girlfriend for an agency. I didn't end up using the agency, but I was in contact with her recruiter. So you can do that. You can just Google. There are tons of agencies out here. And trust me, if you put your email address into their database, they're going to overwhelm you with requests, phone calls, emails to work with an agency. Once you select an agency, you're going to start working with a recruiter. So your recruiter is like your navigator. Your recruiter. Your recruiter is going to, you're going to have a conversation with them. You're going to tell them what your experience is. Typically, they want you to have at least 1 year of recent experience in your specialty. So you can't just say, oh, I'm a labor and delivery nurse, I want to work in a PACU. It doesn't work like that. So you're going to let your recruiter know what your experience is. They are going to ask you for references. You're going to have to fill out an application. You're going to have to fill out lots of paperwork. You're going to have to go get some blood drawn. There's lots and lots and lots of things that you're going to have to do in order to get this process started. But you're going to start having a conversation with your recruiter. So you'll let your recruiter know what your experience is, where you would like to go, what you'd like to do. So you really get to dictate what you want to do. So that's another benefit of this process. I don't ever feel like I was pressured into doing anything. I had the conversation with my recruiter. She presented me with lots of options, some of which I said no. That pay rate is not what I want. That pay package is not competitive enough. No, I don't want to go to that location. Like one recruiter tried to get me, one recruiter presented a job that was in Nebraska. No offense to Nebraska or the Midwest. I just have no interest in going to Nebraska. So I just know, no, that probably would not be the best fit for me. Between you and your recruiter, you are going to determine the best fit for you. So if you do go into this venture as a travel nurse, don't ever feel like you're pressured into signing a contract that you are not comfortable with. Don't ever do that, because this is your life, this is your livelihood, this is your license, and your recruiter is not going to be doing the work. You are going to be the one out here doing the work. So you want to make sure that you pick something that is beneficial for you and something that you feel like you can work with. Now, granted, you don't know what the experience is going to be like until you get to the facility. But on paper, you want to make sure that everything is in alignment with your goals and with what you want to do, okay? One of the other things I would suggest that you do when you're looking for a travel assignment, once you decide on a location, before you sign that contract, I would suggest that you look at the housing to find out if this, again, is going to be beneficial for you. So you know what your financial goals are. So if you're going to a place where the housing is expensive, you need to be sure that this is going to be a good deal for you. Like for me, it wouldn't make sense for, let's say my housing is $1,000 a week and my housing stipend is $1,000 a week. That contract wouldn't work for me. You know what your financial picture is. The only person that knows or can determine that would be you, okay? But I would suggest that you look into housing before you sign a contract, because that part is so super important. You don't want to, I wouldn't imagine. I mean, to me, there's just like no point if you're just going to break even, unless you just want to do this for the experience and for traveling to see new places. And if that is it, then that's cool. Just know what your intentions are before you get into this venture, okay? The other thing I would suggest is that you are confident in your nursing skills. So when you start a contract or when you start at the hospital, they're going to give you the basics of the hospital, how things flow here, how they operate the hospital. That's what you're going to get. So I just did hospital orientation. They did a lot of talking about the hospital policies, procedures, what have you. You're going to get that. That's another thing. Always make sure that you know the policies and procedures at your hospital. But when you start working on the floor, the hospital or the staff, the manager there is going to expect that you can hit the ground running. Meaning, they're going to give you 2 to 3 days of orientation, and after that, you're on your own. So, if you're a nurse or nursing students, when you become a nurse, depending upon the specialty that you go into, you get a certain amount of orientation. For instance, for maternal child health, when I started out as a nurse, I was on a LDRP, a labor, delivery, recovery, postpartum unit. I got 16 weeks of orientation as a new grad. However, for this contract, I got 2 8-hour shifts, no, 3 8-hour shifts and 1 12-hour shift. After that, I'm on my own. You can't hit the ground running after that. They're going to cancel your contract because the expectation is, look, we hired you because we need a nurse here. We don't have time to get someone in here for 12 weeks of orientation. We're going to give you these 3 days and you're good to go. So I would suggest that you are confident in your nursing skills. There are things that we all are lacking, I believe. So you don't have to be perfect, but just be confident in your basic assessment skills, your basic nursing skills, wherever, whatever your specialty is, just be confident in that skill set, okay? That would be my recommendation if you decide to become a travel nurse. So how's it going thus far? Thus far, I have no complaints. Everybody at the hospital has been very nice. I am going to be very transparent. When my recruiter said Massachusetts, Boston area, I really thought there probably are not a lot of black people here. That was one of my first thoughts. And we all want to be comfortable in any setting that we're in. So I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, but that was one of my first thoughts. There probably are not a lot of black people here. And that is true indeed. I have not seen a lot of people of color here. So the area is very diverse because there are lots of Hispanic people. Actually, the majority of the patients the hospital serves are Dominican. So it is diverse, but I don't see a lot of people that look like me. However, I don't feel threatened or like I'm out of place in any kind of way. There are no other black nurses on the unit that I'm on. At least I haven't seen one yet. But everyone has been very welcoming. Everyone's been very kind. And I have no complaints thus far. So I guess to that I would say you can't really go into a situation like this with preconceived thoughts like that, because it will kind of dictate the experience that you have, because I really was anxious about that. And when I got here, I was like, oh, yeah, it's just like I'm at home, to be honest. Like, I don't really feel a difference, okay? So I guess I want to say you have to be open-minded if you want to be a travel nurse, because you're going to be placed in a lot of different scenarios and situations where you may not see a lot of people who look like you. But that's okay, because that's also part of this experience, is experiencing different cultures, different people, and different situations. I am looking forward to the next 10 weeks here. I'm such a tourist. Look, down in the laundry room, they had all these booklets with sightseeing stuff, and I picked up all these booklets, right? Because I want to take advantage of the rest of the summer. One of the things I heard was that it's beautiful here. They have beautiful scenic views, and I went to the beach last week and I had a great time by myself. The water was so cold though. I don't know how those people were in that water. The water was so cold, but I'm looking forward to all these places. Like, I want to go to Cape Cod. There was a hurricane at Cape Cod the other day. So they're doing a lot of cleanup. So I might wait a couple weeks for that. But I want to go to Cape Cod. I want to go to Boston and Cambridge and do some sightseeing. What else is big on my list? Oh, Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket. I definitely want to do that. I want to go to Hyannisport. I am in love with the Kennedys. I would love to go there and just see what that area is like. So, you know, just lots of different. Oh, Maine is right up the road. Lobsters, hello. Yeah, so there's lots of things that I want to experience over this next 10 weeks that I'm here. And the good thing about it is we're going into the tail end of summer. So August, I'm going to be doing all this sightseeing on my days off. So yeah, I will definitely keep you guys posted on how things are going. I'll let you know the good, the bad, the ugly. If there's a bad and ugly, I'll let you know about that. But thus far, I am having a great time. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Please hit that notification bell button so you never miss another video from the Know It All Nurse channel. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.